Hello, my name is Burton Yi. I'm the Executive Chef at SW Steakhouse at Wynn Palace. Today, we'll go over on how to cook an amazing steak at home. You just need simple ingredients, a beautiful steak. Here we got a Snake River Farms sirloin, which is a signature steak at SW. You also need some salt, pepper, some beautiful herbs, a little bit of butter. This is a lot, but we just need a little bit. Some garlic, parsley, and some potatoes that we'll be cooking later to accompany the steak. Okay, we'll start off by cooking off our potatoes first. What you're going to need is a pot of water, 2 tablespoons of salt, and then you're going to add your potatoes. These will be cooking for about 7 to 8 minutes. All right, now it's time for the fun stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to start off by preheating our pan to about medium-high heat. While this is getting hot, we're going to season the steak on both sides. We'll add a little bit of olive oil, a generous amount of salt, some pepper. The reason why I add a little bit of olive oil is to help the salt to stick to the beef. In regards to salt, I would recommend using a sea salt as opposed to table salt. Right now I'm using coarse sea salt. The coarse sea salt helps bring out the flavor of the steak. If you use smaller grains of salt, you might over-season. So it might come out a little too salty. So the coarse sea salt, you can actually see the salt on the steak, so you know how much you've got on there. So you won't be too scared of making it too salty. Now once the pan is hot, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil. Try not to move the steak too much. Once you place the steak on the pan, you don't need to move it around. So let it cook. Now, judging by the heat, I'm going to lower the heat a little bit. There's a little bit too much smoke. You can hear the beautiful crackling of the steak. You're going to season this side until it's nice and golden brown. Once it's golden brown, you're going to flip it over and do the same. Now, depending on the size of your steak, if your steak is thick, you're going to want your heat to be a little bit lower. If your steak is thin, you're going to want it to be a little bit hotter so you don't burn. So while we're cooking the steak, what you want to ensure is that you cook it on both sides evenly. You don't want to just cook on one side. So what you want to do is cook both sides until nice and even, and then once they're cooked on both sides evenly, we'll baste it with some butter, garlic, and thyme. Some of you at home might be wondering, whenever I cook steak at home, it's always overcooked. A good way to judge the temperature of the steak is maybe doing the finger test. What I like to do is if you get your pointer finger and your thumb, you put it together and you hold you press the soft part of your hand here. That'll tell you that it's about a medium rare. Just about ready. So what I'm going to do is I'll add a little bit of butter, a smashed clove of garlic, and some thyme. And then here I'm going to start basting the steak. It gets really aromatic with the garlic and the thyme. And as the butter browns, you get a nice sweet nutty flavor that's going to be added to the steak. As you're basting, you don't really need the fire or additional heat, because your pan's already hot and you're going to get a nice browning of your butter. Now, after basting for about a few minutes on that side, what we're going to do is flip it over and baste the other side. So now what we'll do is we'll rest the steak for about 5 to 10 minutes. I like to rest it for about 10 minutes. And then add this beautiful brown butter on top. And just let the steak rest. Once it's rest, we'll show you how to slice it. Okay, so now that our steaks are resting, we'll cook our potatoes next. Once the pan is hot, I'll add a little bit of the fat. So what we're looking for here is a nice golden brown on the potatoes. Once they're nice and golden brown, what we'll do is we'll drain any of the leftover or excess fat, and we'll toss in our rosemary and our garlic. Add a little bit of the garlic now. A little small sprig of rosemary. You don't need much. A little bit of the salt. They're just about ready. Once they're nice and golden brown, flip them over. As you can see. Then I got a little chopped parsley. I'll toss in a little chopped parsley. And then we'll plate it. Okay, so now that our potatoes are done and our steaks rested for 10 minutes, let's take a look inside. As you can see, it's nice, beautiful, medium rare medium. So it's perfect for this steak. You can see that's well rested. After I slice it, you see that there's no blood on the cutting board. At home, you can leave your steak whole, but here I've already sliced it and finished it off with a little bit of Malton sea salt. We've got our beautiful roasted potatoes, we've got our amazing steak, and now it's time for dinner. Enjoy.